My name's Matt Blomberg. I'm an investigative journalist in Cambodia. 4 years ago, I was a sports reporter in Australia. That was my goal in life. And then I came here on a holiday. I didn't want to go home, so I applied for a job at the Cambodia Daily. There's not much professional sport here, so I got sucked into the world of corruption and investigation and scandal. There's a lot of different people using a lot of different methods to try and confront injustices all over the world. For me, the most effective way is with a pen and a camera. From Phnom Penh, I was following the story about illegal fishing and starting to get little bits of stories about the lawlessness at sea. And then one day, I heard that a Cambodian man was killed in a clash with Vietnamese fishermen.
To where? Yeah, for sure.
So I went down and visited the village, met the widow, and started, poking around the villages and asking questions. Was there any justice for the death of AU?
Because the governors think they are wrong, they are false.
At this point, I hadn't seen anything myself. So I went and asked the captain to take me out. It's a really volatile situation because there's so many fishing villages who are all living off the same patch of ocean. There's hundreds of boats that go out every night. There's these fishing communities all along the coast. The scale is massive.
He says that all these boats with their lights off are Vietnamese and that this is Cambodian water for a little bit more.
The more villages I went to, I just kept hearing the same story. There's no fish left, that the Vietnamese are taking all the fish and that the local fishermen are powerless to stop them. If you have a look at the maps, you can see that Thailand in the west and Vietnam in the east, their waters have been fished out. The Vietnamese have pillaged their own oceans and the fishing fleets from there are moving into Cambodia. There's billions of dollars worth of seafood exported from Southeast Asia every year. And so a lot of people around the world are affected by the things that happen here. In Cambodia, things are pretty desperate. It became apparent very quickly how serious this issue is. If this problem is not addressed, it's only a matter of time before there's no fisheries in Cambodia at all. Hundreds of thousands of people's livelihoods are on the line. through talking to the fishermen down there. I found out about this vigilante British guy who was living on an island off the coast and doing his best to try and keep the illegal fishers at bay.
At least one set of Vietnamese pair trawlers. First one somewhere between 500 metres and 1 kilometre north of Cose. Now we can...
Paul's strategy is to flood Facebook with live streams when he's out on patrol.
Oh, there he is, throwing stuff. Live on Facebook. Here we go, chasing the boat.
90% of Cambodians see Facebook as their lead source of information. And he knows that pretty high-ranking people are watching.
Okay, here we are. Continuous offenders.
And that if he keeps slapping in the face, someone will react eventually.
Guys waving an axe at us.
The illegal fishermen are notoriously violent. They go to work armed with machetes and slingshots and homemade guns, and anyone who gets in their way, they're willing to use those weapons. They ram boats, they've sunk boats, they've launched coordinated attacks even.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 electric trawlers behind ram our boat right now.
Obviously, I was quite interested in it, so I went down there looking for him. I also heard that Paul wasn't very keen on talking to the media. My first impression was that getting along with Paul will be difficult. What I wanted to do was to get into a position where we can share information.
Nothing else to do.
But it took me a little while to even gain his attention.
You were somewhere high up, like...
I approached him and sat down and slowly started chatting to him.
Like, no, it's okay, we've done all the research, we've been doing it first.
And I guess I won his trust in the end.
At the end, yeah, it was like, it was exactly it.
At the very beginning, when these little seahorse trawlers came over from Vietnam, this was what the bycatch looked like. So it was a really, really sensitive habitats that hadn't been disturbed. So you've got, I mean, that's a, say, a 30-minute trawl, and they have that much life in it. Yeah. This is almost the same trawler, and that's what they catch now. So the first one was I think 2008. So they get, and that'll be maybe a 2-hour trawl. It's pretty crazy how little there is now left. Matt contacted me, and I gave him a bit of information about things, and we talked, and it sort of progressed from there.
12 years ago, I was a diver. I loved the ocean, and I came to Cambodia to work as a diving instructor. When the ocean started being destroyed, no one else was there to stop it, and I was there. There wasn't really a choice, it had to be done. So that was when I started Marine Conservation Cambodia.
We started out to protect the seahorses here. And the more we started to work with the community, the more we understood how little fish were left, and it became much more about protecting the community and the whole marine environment.
And so we set up MCC here in Kep, and then we began work.
MCC has a very small area in front of Kose, the island that they populate.
We have a conservation area that we've officially been granted by the provincial government.
And it's surrounded on 3 sides by Vietnam.
Essentially, we really are smack bang on the front line. We run the patrols to stop the trawling boats from going into the marine conservation areas. If we can protect this tiny little oasis of recovery, then we can expand everything, encompassing a much larger conservation area called an MFMA, which is a Marine Fishery Management Area. And essentially within that, you then have zones that allow a breeding season to happen without any interference. Conservation zones, which are entirely no-take.
If you've got the conservation zones and they're fully protected, you have areas for the fish to move out.
The first year you have no fish, then you have a few fish. Because you have a few more the next year. Once it gets to a certain point, there's so much life there that breeds and produces new offspring that it explodes and spawn these other areas of recovery. And research has to be done to back up everything that we're doing.
Amick leads the research and the scientific side of operations. He's bringing in volunteers and divers and scientists to help do the monitoring of the water.
If we do the research to prove to the provincial government that the work that we're doing is working, then we can take this to the entire archipelago to protect all of the essential habitats that need to be under the umbrella of this MFMA. Around 2008, Cambodia's diving equaled what people now think of as the best diving sites in the world, where divers from all over the world go to do photography to find the craziest critters that no one else sees. The seahorse was the thing that I enjoyed spending the most of my time underwater with. They're incredibly beautiful to watch. Because of Cambodia's recent history, the genocide, they'd been untouched by industrial fishing. Seahorses were pretty much everywhere.
Nets laid out because they're all the same flags. We started out and the illegal fishing was worse than in Sihanoukville. And Sihanoukville was bad, but here was pretty much like the Wild West. They're actually illegal. All the boats work with complete impunity.
MCC has managed to gain some kind of trust with the government to be allowed to go in and tackle the illegal fishing that goes on there. But they're walking a very fine line between doing what is right and pleasing the people who hold the key to their existence.
Anyone got a camera that's got a good zoom on it? Looks like a 18 to 20 person Vietnamese IUU boat.
MCC is essentially doing what the police and the fisheries are supposed to be doing. The trawlers have operated with impunity for at least 10 years. Bottom trawling is where they drop a net off the back of the boat, and inside the front of the net are these timber sleds that drive the net down into the ocean floor. And then the net is dragged along the ocean floor for kilometres and scoops and smashes everything that it passes over.
Oh, look at all that seagrass. All the seagrass on that boat. The whole pile is seagrass.
When there's nothing left on the bottom to catch, then there's the electric version of those.
Electric trawling is just your average standard trawler, but they connect an electric cable to the net that goes through a copper wire, and then they send a 1,000-volt pulse down into the water and electrocute everything as they're going.
Anything that's been electrocuted by one of those nets dies within 48 hours.
And so as they go along taking all of the fish, they're also taking with it all of the habitat, so there can't be any regeneration. Yeah. So here he is with all his seagrass in the net. He is, same guy, he just doesn't care.
And then there's the pair trawling. It can be nets hundreds of metres long, slung between two massive boats and then dragged through swathes of ocean kilometres. It can wipe out acres of underwater habitat in one night. The pair trawlers in Cambodia come from Vietnam. This, we know that there's no Cambodian pair trawlers.
Okay, Vietnam pair trawler. That's Ko Pu there, Ko Mac Prang. There's the two pair trawler. It's the most destructive thing that I've come across within the ocean so far.
So that's why it's really essential that we stop the trawling boats from going into the protected area.
This is the idea of the blocks. We deploy them underwater. If it's 7 blocks high, it'll weigh just over 3 tons.
The blocks have two main purposes, which is to create artificial habitat and also to function as an anti-trawling device to stop the illegal trawlers.
Alright, what is it? Yes, very good.
My name is Kamchovida, and I'm from Panyasastra University of Cambodia in Phnom Penh. Yeah. I met my teammate Rachna, and I show her about Marine Conservation Cambodia on a Facebook page, and we just make plan.
It was crazy. Like, we're on the way to the island, and we contact Paul, and Paul did not answer our phone, and we were like, oh, what we gonna do? Like, shit, like, we're like crazy kids, just come as we wish. Go fish!
They're here to do their thesis, and they are beginning an early test and monitoring program for the block systems that we'd like to implement for the MFMA on a much larger scale. I've always thought this isn't a job for foreigners. It's going to be Cambodian people that make the changes here. They can do this so much more efficiently than we can.
Before we came to the island, we don't know how to swim. We cannot swim at all. We learned just like months ago.
Vida and Rachna are swimming against the tide. They'll tell you that their parents didn't want them to get involved in this stuff, and they'll also tell you that their university professors advised them against it because it's just not seen as a stable career here. This is a good example. This story is an absolutely flagrant abuse of the fisheries law. Hundreds of Vietnamese fishermen floating around in these little cane baskets, taking hundreds of kilos of squid out of the Cambodian water every single day and paying those who are supposed to be stopping them for the privilege. This story caused some problems for some people because all these guys are named. As a Western journalist, you have to be very cautious with the way that you approach stories because, you have a completely different angle on everything. You get people saying, what are you doing interfering? It's not your business. And, there's some elements of that argument that I can agree with. But at the same time, a great part of the reason why I do this work is because I've become so attached to the country. It has become my home. I have a much stronger connection to this place and these people than I do to even Australia. And what happens here does actually affect me. I know that I'm privileged and lucky to be able to do what I do. And I feel like I have a duty to use my skills as best as I can to try to improve the situation.
It's a wonderful opportunity to have Matt here again from the Cambodia Daily.
I moved out to Cambodia from Australia in 2012. One of the things that I saw was the unsustainable depletion of the natural resources of Cambodia. There's great resources here in the forests and in the ocean particularly, and they're all being exploited improperly. Who here wants to be a journalist? Oh, it's got worse since last year.
It's getting worse. Yeah.
Why doesn't anyone want to be a journalist?
Because here, I think for Cambodians, we see investigative journalism as sort of pretty life-threatening, bars people from it.
This is like the class for journalism in Cambodia, right? If you're not here, you're not. Yeah. It's kind of not that easy for Cambodians to stand up and say that's wrong and that's wrong when it is. If you do this job, and it doesn't look like many of you want to do it, but it's a really rewarding kind of job. It's exciting. Organisations put together lists of countries that are the most dangerous to be journalists in, and Cambodia recently was named the most dangerous place to be an environmental journalist. Over the years, we've seen a number of environmental activists and political commentators murdered, some in cold blood and broad daylight.
One of Asia's leading environmental activists was gunned down in Cambodia.
The local reporters are much more at risk than we foreigners are. Deleting a foreigner isn't going to be swept under the carpet like deleting a local activist can be. So in some senses, I guess I often feel like I have a responsibility to the local reporter. If something goes wrong, I can pack my bag and go, but the local reporters, they can't. I found out that one Cambodian fishing village on the coast has gone particularly militant. Prektanen, or Shop Village as it's known locally, is just a few k's from MCC's island. And I'd heard that they've electrified all their nets. See this blue electric, this blue wire down here? That's electric. This chain runs around the mouth of the net, and then this electric current is hooked onto the chain. They'll tell us that that electric wire is for their lights and stuff, but right here we can see that it's hooked up to the mouth of the trolling net. Someone say go. They know that we're here collecting information, so we collected the right information, that means. Getting kicked out is always a good sign, right? Small-scale fishermen have been here since the area was repopulated after the fall of the Khmer Rouge. A large portion of Cambodians still live in severe poverty. The fishermen who are scrapping for their survival every day are left to kind of fight amongst themselves, which is somewhat sad.
ខ្ញុំវាមុនវាយលោបីអីដែរបានតែទូកអូសទូកអីបាត់មកពេកដល់ឥឡូវឈប់ហើយពីរនាក់ពួនហ្នឹង
Small-scale fishermen use methods that aren't that destructive and are sustainable. But then you have the illegal fishermen from Vietnam and the electric boats come into Cambodia and take as many fish as a small fisherman would take in months.
យើងវាពិបាកនិយាយដែរហើយទូកអូសយើងដាក់ភ្លើងដាក់អីក៏ដល់វានៅអូសចូលវាបណ្ដាច់យើងទៅហ្មងទៅខាតខ្លះក៏គេឈប់ចឹងទៅធ្វើចំណងធ្វើអីនៅលើចឹងណាធ្វើជាងធ្វើអីចឹង
So the Cambodian fishermen upgrade to using electric trawlers just to try and keep up.
I was having a discussion with an illegal fisherman one time, and I was sat on the boat in all my, righteousness of, your children aren't going to have any fish, This guy turned around to me and went, if I don't catch the fish today, I won't have any children. I can't answer that, If you don't feed your kids die. He's not thinking about tomorrow or the next day or, what his kids will have in the future. So
it changed me and it changed my mentality. You know, I absolutely adore my kids. I'm the luckiest man on the planet to have such wonderful kids. But bringing up kids in the world that we live in is hard. It's so hard. But I hope that they will realize that our natural world is more important than anything, because without it, what do we have?
I hope people try to love the ocean, love from the heart, and try to save it.
We want to conserve the environment, and at the same time we want to bring some culture, Cambodian culture, into the conservation.
Doing our thesis on the artificial reef completely changed my perspective. You just cannot stop thinking about the way to do more for the ocean and the fishermen. They keep us motivated to work harder every day. You cannot say it's gonna change tomorrow, but I think something amazing is gonna happen here.
Let's go! 1, 2, 3!
I want to see it recover. I want to see happy long-tail fishermen fishing legally, catching great big crabs. I want to see the little communities becoming communities again, where they don't have to move away to get jobs, where they can just go into the ocean. I want to go diving and see the stuff that should be there. Then I want to see blue water every day, because it's not foul and disgusting from being dragged up with the trawlers. It could be beautiful. It was beautiful once.
We got 25 minutes.
For years I'd heard that the Vietnamese pair trawlers fishing in Cambodia come from the island of Phu Quoc, which on a map appears to be in Cambodian water, but is in fact Vietnamese. So I wanted to see what was actually happening there.
Okay, good luck, man. I'll see you. Yeah. Thank you. Pregnant seahorse. Big fella too.
I found a fishing village that is said to be the hub for the giant pair trawlers.
Oh yeah, there it is. Those guys on the second boat over. No photos, no photos. How are you, man?
could see the size of the nets. Hundreds and hundreds of meters worth of nets. One of these boats can come into Cambodia and take as many fish as a small trawler would take in months. It's industrial fishing on a large scale. Cambodians and Vietnamese, they're not competing on a level playing field.
Right now, we're working on thesis about marine conservation and about concrete blocks that stop the trawler boat. In a couple months, I will graduate. My favorite is writing fictions like for children. I will tell the stories, what ocean needs to be protected, and I hope that they will understand and change the way they see the oceans and help to protect. Rachna, my teammate, she's back to the island. Right now, she's continue working on the thesis with me. And she's responsible for taking pictures and see how many fish we have right now.
It's crazy, like how it's changed. Like so many life over there. You could see that there was like dolphins hanging around because there are a lot of fish for them to like feed.
We're managing to prove that the blocks are working. The next step is for the MFMA to be agreed upon by all of the different stakeholders, the local fishing communities, fishers, various different levels of government, which then allows us to continue to work on the plan.
For now, I'm working for whole on communication with the communities and the fishermen about the MFMA, and it's really good.
The success that we're seeing is quite amazing. These boats that have been able to come in here for many, many years and do whatever they like, and now there's a defense. And this means that the pressure for illegal fishers is huge.
Keep on, recording. This is around 10 boats. They came right into the conservation area. They tried to ram the big boat. We have no idea if they're going to try and come onto the island, but we're preparing to defend ourselves. We have no idea what these guys are up to. Get everybody else, man. Killing shots. This is insane.
Recently, we've seen that the illegal fishers themselves are exceedingly violent. The success that we've had is resulting for sure in a backlash.
We're being attacked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's coming for us again. Look at this one. He's coming for us again. My babies are on this boat. We don't even get to the island. They attack us coming past Confronting side.
I've always thought that When things are wrong and nobody does anything about them, they just continue to be wrong. You have to stand up at that point and say, right, no, I'm not taking this. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm at the pier and I'm going to go and drive across to show just how easy it is to find where the electric trawlers are. And the fact that they've come into our area now 3 nights running, almost all night, plus we've got dead dolphins again. I'm going to show you how easy it is to find them. So what we can do, or what anybody can do, is just wait for them where they are. Yeah? So, can we see all those boats?
Yeah.
So we're just going to go past. So it's been around 5 minutes, and already we're at the place where they could be inspected. They could be inspected every single day. Problem is, the block system's going to take a few months to get in. And these guys are now going full on, full out, because they know it's going to happen. We need some help. We need assistance to stop these boats whilst we're installing the blocks before there's nothing left to protect.
The status quo on the coast has existed for a long time.
Boat there.
And Paul is seen as a troublemaker, the foreigner who's come in and rocked the boat. And so there's people who want them shut down.
We've been stopped from going out on patrol. The local government is trying to avoid international incidents that cause a problem between Cambodia and its neighbouring countries. But I think it's being used as an excuse to stop us going out or have us closed down. We cannot go out. We are closed down in all of our actions to do this. And if we don't close down our actions doing this, we will be closed down. I'm a fucking barang. It doesn't matter what I do, I'm barang. Yeah? Well, it is what it is.
Sad.
Yeah. Mình để theo mình đất. Bây giờ mình xin. Dễ phân.
Khó. Sad.
Cannot.
Anh, tay mặt thế nào?
Come on, Richard, it's all good. No, Richard. Hey, do not break. The more the pressure they put on us, the stronger we get.
No matter what he's done for the ocean, they still think that he's a foreigner. And that's really sad. Like, you cannot just say you're the white person, you don't love my ocean more than I do, you don't love my country more than I do, which is completely wrong.
The frustration and hurt and how it makes you feel inside is intense. Watching something you love die and using every single power that you have to stop yourself doing the one thing that's right, which is to go out and stop them.
But last night was bad. There was two big pairs. I mean, like, bigger, you could see the silhouette, bigger than our big boat. Just came straight through here. That's the thing that I'm trying to get them to understand at the moment, is that you've got to prevent the damage that they're doing. It's not just about catching them. It's about stopping them in the first place.
It's very clear that the government has to be convinced that this is the right thing to do. This is the story that I wrote for Monga Bay, the most recent story that I've published. The story itself is about Paul's MFMA, and it's kind of looking forward to, you know, what could happen if they get this plan underway. Here's a nice image of a trawler that I got off the coast of Kampot. Journalists can make things change. If we're not exposing some of these things, then the governments have no reason to do anything about them.
Here we have a trawler, illegally fishing right outside our area within our 300 metres. You need to sink about 5 or 6 of these boats, put them around, and we've got beautiful artificial reefs. We have a second boat in the background there. We're just waiting on police officers to come and assist us because we've been told we're not allowed to go and tackle these big old boats on our own. There you go. Feeling fucking frustrated. 2 sets of pair trawlers already doing damage and absolutely no action. So here we are again on another night. Sometimes I really wonder, like, what is going through their heads. There's been many times it's been rocky, but we wouldn't still be here if the government of Cambodia didn't support what we do. I don't see an end to it unless they stop me doing it. 1 pair, 2 pair, 1 missing. I want to know where this one's gone. That's the one I'm looking for. Can you see it? You can't come there, he's right here. You can see that? Yeah, he's passing us. Okay, see you over there, Puppet. Okay, let's go. Take us towards him. Is there any way we can get some support from near? Okay. Yeah, I know we should be careful. He's dropped his net. Cut his net is in the water. That big motherfucker's running. Okay, move. Move! Now! Another one over there, Paul. Yeah, I see it. Hey, but we got 2. In 300 metres, we've got to say one's dropped his net, and he's running, and there's one other boat with him. He's signalling for his friend. He's calling his friends, he's signalling to the other boats. Let's go after the other one. Carney, get me the baseball bat just in case. Cyclone! Get him! Cyclone! Cyclone! See the electric cable? Son, put me in for the front. Okay? Pregnant in. Always pregnant in. Oh, nice, man. I had enough of these dudes, man. He's been told that many times. He's still got electric. They still don't stop. Pump, do the same, yeah? Tow him. Yeah? We're taking him in. Even I feel sorry for these guys right now, you know? But at the same time, you've got these legal fishermen out there, and the legal fishermen have nothing. And they're losing their livelihoods to these guys.
Chờ nó cho uốn nơi rồi. Uốn. Vậy nó uốn lên tu kia. Cho nó cho bạn uốn. Nơi cho nó luôn ở đây này.
MCC's been on the front lines of this battle for years now, largely on their own. But finally, the government is starting to realise that they're doing this for the right reason and that it's the right thing to do.
Big fish. No. Mình bật lại bạn, mình bật lại.
Học lên trên.
The whole MCC project was built from scratch by Paul and his people with their bare hands and with very little money. The problem of overfishing in Cambodia is so complex and involves so many moving parts that if it can be solved here, it can probably be solved anywhere around the world.
Just on the small scale that we've been doing, we have a proof that the ocean can recover.
The MFMA is enough to give you hope. It will be a signal to the illegal fishers the government is serious about changing things.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to be here to see and meet with all of you. Fisheries Administration very support these activities, and we also prefer to expand all this activity in other area also. Okay, thank you very much, and very nice to meet all of you. Yes.
The idea is each block is around 150, and then we have a big metal pole we'll go through to join them together. And just around here is where Rachana made her reef, so it looks very beautiful.
I hope that one day I could see the smile on the fisherman's face, like when they're catching the big fish. And I just hope that everybody happy and the ocean is healthy.
I get two.
Rachana is basically the future and the hope of MCC in my mind.
Mind your toes, mind your feet. Wow, out the way. Come on, Rachana.
I believe under her leadership, she will take MCC to a different level.
Allows us to do what we've done here throughout the whole archipelago. It's the beginning of full restoration. It's the beginning of the beginning. I'm buzzing. It's brilliant. Okay. Thank you very, very much, everybody, for being fucking wonderful.